I'm Susan Anderson. Welcome to Susan So Creative, where it's only wrong when it doesn't work. Today we will be covering how to audition quilting designs on your quilt before you ever start stitching. After you've loaded ProStitcher Designer to your computer, you're going to go to File, select New to start a new program, then go to File and load the backdrop. Here's where we're going to pull in an image of our finished quilt. Now this can be a scanned image, it can be a captured image from your computer screen, it can be a photograph. Any of those will import as long as it's a graphic-based program, such as an SVG or a JPEG, bitmap. Those are graphics. Here I have my finished quilt. Now this is going to be a custom piece on this particular one. We're going to resize it to Tool, Backdrop Tool, Define Scale, and I'm going to go over here and type in the finished size of my design, which is roughly 40 by 60. 40, and the height is going to be, that's 60. There we go. And I'm going to click. Now, my screen is too large to see, so I'm going to use the wheel on my mouse to downsize the image, not the actual finished size. Notice my size over here has not changed, but my visual, I have zoomed out, if you would. Now we're ready to start placing designs onto our quilt. Now, since this is a custom piece, because this is a sampler quilt, I'm going to do each of my blocks different. I'm not doing an edge to edge as an example. I'm going to go to File. We're going to go to Merge. And I've already brought my designs onto a flash drive and loaded them into Feather Design. So this is a folder I've created where I've copied designs from ProStitcher onto a folder in ProStitcher, and now I'm just going to go through and select one. There's one. I'm going to click Open. Here's my design. I'm going to want to fit it right into this little piece here, so I can click on a corner when it changes to the double arrow and reduce the size. When I get the hand image, I can grab the design and slide it right to where I want it positioned on my quilt. I have now done one design on my quilt. Now this is a custom piece, so we're going to do it design by design. Now again, this is just a layout for a preview. I can change the color of my thread if I desire. I'm actually going to stitch this one in white on a white background, so I'm not too concerned. But I want the color dark enough here so I can see the design right now. So we're going to go to File, go to Merge. Let's select another design. Down here, and we're going to select where. I've got all these wonderful designs in this folder. And again, this is just a copy of designs. I didn't take them out of ProStitcher. They're still there. I just moved them into this separate folder. I'm going to select that one and click Open. And I want to put this one into, say, this box here. So it's going to need to resize slightly. And then I can fit it right into position. Now, I'm not too worried about the actual size of the design until I get to my quilt. Once I have my quilt loaded to my quilt frame, I'm then going to trace off the area and position or resize the design using the ProStitcher software on my long arm. So right now, I'm just auditioning my designs to see if I like this design, if I prefer that design, and get it laid out. So this is how I would continue to do a custom piece. Again, this is strictly for preview purposes only. If I'm doing an edge to edge, we'll go to File, New. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to load my backdrop again. And again, like I said, you could go ahead and choose a scanned image. You can do a photograph. I've got a photograph that I scanned right here. This is a quilt that I have done. Now, this is the scanned image from the actual pattern directions. It had a piece on here so you can see what looks like it's already quilted. I did not choose to quilt it in this fashion. I chose something else. And to do that, I'm going to audition my designs again. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Merge. And I'm going to select, this time, I'm going to go, rather than the feather designs, I'm going to go back to my ProStitcher and my designs. Now, if I have my USB in my computer, I can choose that. But since I've already got the designs loaded, they're under C drive. They're my designs, CC Designer, and there is continuous lines. I'm going to go down to the double swirl. This is one I've chosen that I really like this. I like doing, in other words, if I've got angled designs here, I want kind of a scroll or a loopy or curved design that I'm going to choose for my actual quilting. So again, I need to resize my backdrop. So I'm going to go to Backdrop Tool, define my scale. We're just going to take it up 200%. All right. I'm going to go select my Select tool, select my design, resize my design down. When I have the little hand, I'm going to go ahead and slide that to the top left position on my quilt. This is if I was going to do it right on my machine, on my long arm. So I'm going to slide that up just a little, because when I do an edge to edge, I start off the edge of my design or off the edge of my quilt and make sure I go past the top, because I want to make sure all my design is going to be quilted. I don't have to go back and catch some places in between my designs, in this case, that are not going to be stitched. Once I've got one design on here, I can now go to Copy. We're still under Tools, and we're going to paste the second one. Now, paste it right over top of it. I'm simply going to grab the one that's on the top and move it over in place. Now, I'm watching, and I'll zoom in here so you can see. Over a bit. I'm watching to see where my one design matches up with my previous design. Right? Now that I've got two designs and they are positioned where I want them to be, and I have to make sure they're just touching, so they're very close to the way it would normally be on my quilt. I can see here where I'm not going to have a lot of space in between the designs that I would have to go back and stitch. I don't want that. So this, I like the position of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click outside of the design area, select both pieces. So I'm highlighted both pieces. And now I'm going to go up and go to Modify, and I'm going to go to Group. Now, when I go back to Tools and I copy, I'm copying 2. We're going to paste 2, and now I can slide the second set over. It just saves me a little bit of time when going through and having to do this. Now, one thing I have noticed, I don't really like this blue thread on my quilt. Now, quilt colors aren't exactly the colors I use, but they're real close. And I'm not a big fan of the dark blue on that. I kind of like it in lime green. Something about the green in here really perks it up. So I'm going to go back here and select the first two, and I'm going to turn them lime green. Now, if the color I want is not available to me down here, all I have to do is right-click on any one of the colors, and it'll pull up my brand of thread. I can change the brand that I want to use. Like if I wanted to use Floriani, if I wanted to use Embroidery Tech, I wanted to use Madeira, Jenny Haskins, whichever thread you want to use, it's available in here for you. And again, it's a thread palette color. If you don't happen to have that particular color, you may have something close to it. This software will also convert embroidery files to long arm stitches. Now, that's straight stitch lines, not satin stitch lines. So you could choose whichever thread you wanted to, and it would pull up those particular colors in that grouping. You want to do metallic, okay, marathon polyester, whatever you might want to do. All right, so I happen to like this lime green color. I like the way that shows up. We're going to go ahead and select this and do the lime green again. I'm going to go ahead and do a copy with this now with the new color thread. Copy and paste. We're going to move the next section over. Now my screen is going to resize because I'm getting out of space here. Right now it can contain everything. Excuse me. Paste the second one. But now when I go to do the second group here, it's not going to like it. It's going to resize. Okay. So now this shows me that I've gone off the edge of my quilt. That's fine. I may want to scooch it over a little bit or whatever, but I don't want, in fact, let's go ahead and downsize all of this. Let's go ahead and select all of that, slide it over just a bit. I want to make sure I got plenty of room up here, that I'm going off the edge, and that's fine. Okay, now that I've got them all selected, I'm going to go to Modify, and I'm going to group them all. I'm going to go back to Tools and Paste. Undo that. Undo. You do have undo and redo. So this time we're going to copy, select all of it. There we go. We're going to copy, paste, and I'm going to move my second row down. Now I want to stagger this second row. That's another reason I made it longer. Okay, and I'm going to get that about like so. And therefore, I have very little space in between. I probably would not do the second row with that in here. That's fine. This is just, again, for preview. We're going to paste a third row. Move this one down. And the more I look at it, the more I like the fact that I'm getting all those different pretty colors, but I can see the green on every single square that I'm working. So that makes it very convenient. I like the contrast between the swirl and the straight angles of the half square triangles and so forth. So again, I like the way this looks out. I don't have to completely finish it. This would all be done on the actual quilt. This just gives me, again, a preview of what my stitching would be like for an edge-to-edge.
I hope you picked up some tips to make your quilting easier by auditioning your designs first. Don't forget to download the tips and suggestions below and keep on hand for your next quilting project. Thank you for joining me today, and remember, it's only wrong when it doesn't work.